Today's WNEM TV5 Evening Extra is brought to you by the Law Office of Carol Thomas.
A house of horrors hiding dozens of dogs in need of rescue and some who never made it out. Now attention turns to getting this horde of animals the care they desperately need.
In all, 61 dogs and 3 cats were taken out of that Flint Township home yesterday. 26 dogs and 1 cat were found dead. Welcome to TV5 Evening Extra. Investigators tell us they started to receive complaints about the smell coming from that home last week.
But as TV5's James Felton tells us, nothing could have prepared them for just how noxious that home was once they got inside.
I witnessed everything firsthand, and it was very overwhelming.
Hannah Peterson reflecting on the effort to rescue animals from a Flint Township home on Tuesday morning. She was there at this home on North Elms Road. That's where 61 dogs and 3 cats were found alive. The bodies of 26 other dogs and 1 cat were also discovered. Peterson is a spokesperson for Genesee County Animal Control. She tells us the conditions inside the home were unfit for animal and human alike.
The air quality was very, very poor. They tested the air quality with like an ammonia reader, and the levels were hazardous. Dangerous for people as well as animals. We were all double masked in there and, just trying to move as quickly as possible, but it was still pretty hard to breathe, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it was, of course, filthy, unsafe for any human or animal to be living in. And, it wasn't like there was any space that these animals could go to that was like a safe, clean area. Just the entire home was unlivable.
Peterson believes that the prognosis for these animals is good. She's quick to point out that they're not up for adoption at this time, but she's optimistic that will change at some point.
Now that they're here, they're out of those conditions. All of the dogs seem pretty lively and, interactive. They were up, they were moving, they were running around. So I would say yes, as long as everything goes to plan and we don't have any unexpected hiccups with with their care and their medical, then hopefully all 64 will be on to better days in that next chapter of life.
But the story ended for 27 other animals. It's something that will be on Peterson's mind for a long time.
It's honestly something that's a bit hard to process. I've been thinking about it, as I'm sure many of us have, since yesterday morning, and there are certain things that are probably going to be burned into my brain forever. But it's one of those things where we have to find a way to look at the positive, and we have to find the light within these really dark situations. We were able to save 64 animals at the end of the day.
James Felton, WNEM TV5.
The director of Genesee County Animal Control tells us that criminal charges are pending. Stay with TV5 for updates on that. We will also hear from the homeowner where the dogs were found later in the live stream.
And we've had some thunderstorms move through parts of Michigan earlier this afternoon. It seems like they're starting to move off to the east and they'll wind down here pretty soon. But some of them were enough to produce a severe thunderstorm warning. A few of those were issued just to our south. It seems like the last one is getting set to expire around 7 o'clock. Hail has been the primary concern with these. Thankfully, in the TV5 viewing area, we have not seen them to the level that what they have been to our south, but still not impossible for a few hailstones in our neck of the woods either. As far as the forecast goes tonight, we've got a foggy mid-Michigan. It doesn't look too bad in downtown Flint, but visibility elsewhere is pretty low. Areas like Mount Pleasant, Midland, Alma, and MBS all less than a mile. Areas like Caro and Bad Axe at about a mile or 2. And we expect as we go through tonight that fog will be sticking around, so plan on perhaps a few extra minutes out the door tomorrow. Our temperatures also still around the 30s for most of mid-Michigan, but 50 in Owasso. We've got 46 in Flint, 36 in Midland, and 33 in West Branch. Our winds are pretty light, only about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and it looks like they'll stay light through tonight, allowing that fog to settle in. Your 3-day forecast shows temperatures in the 40s the next couple of days, and then 30s for the weekend. Your forecast for the next 7 coming up.
Somebody has to know something, and we just want to get her home safely if we can.
State police urging people to come forward to help find Candy Clem. She's right here. The Bay County woman has been missing for nearly 2 months. Investigators say the 36-year-old was last seen in the Pinconning area on December 18th.
It's really important that if people have information, especially firsthand information about where she might be or what might have happened to cause her to disappear, that they let us know so we can investigate. We're not only working off of tips, they're also using evidence that they're recovering on their own from interviews and other search warrants and cell phone records and those kinds of things, trying to track down where she was last.
State police say she's 5 feet tall with brown hair, hazel eyes, and glasses. If you've seen her or know where she is, call state police.
8 women and girls, including some from Flint, allege abuse at a Dearborn Heights social services and foster care organization.
We believe that what happened at Vista Maria was a real-life version of the Hunger Games. I don't say that for shock value. I say it because these young women that we've spoken to describe a place where they felt like they were in survival mode every day.
The attorney plans to file a lawsuit on behalf of some of the women who alleged abuse, neglect, and trauma as minors when they were housed at Vista Maria. They say the facility was presented as a supportive environment where girls could walk freely, go to school, and heal. But the reality was different. One woman says staff forced medications and used restraints that restricted breathing.
Children were restrained until they could barely breathe. We screamed for help. We were told if we could scream, we could breathe, which is medically false. After these restraints, many of us had broken blood vessels in our faces and our eyes. These are signs of lack of oxygen. We were being suffocated during these restraints. I personally experienced approximately 150 physical restraints and about 60 forcible injections in just 8 months.
Lawyers say allegations span decades involving dozens of young women.
More local news, a chance for Flint residents to voice their opinion about the Great Lakes Water Authority's proposed rate hike this year. It would be about 6.83%, which follows an increase last year by 5.9%. A public hearing and vote is scheduled for next Wednesday in Detroit at the Water Board building on Randolph Street. The city is urging residents to attend and make their voices heard.
Visitation is underway today for fallen Flint police officer Charles Redman. You can pay your respects until 8 tonight at Russell Funeral Home in Flushing. Funeral services are set for tomorrow morning at First Presbyterian Church in Flint, with final visitation starting at 10. The service will follow and start at 11. You can help support Officer Redman's family through the hot link section of WNEM.com.
Tensions expected to be high tonight at a special Board of Trustees meeting at Mott Community College. According to the Detroit News, back in December, the group Americans United for Separation of Church and State accused President Shonda Richardson Snell of trying to convert someone to Christianity. That meeting is expected to include public comment and a response plan. It started at 5:30 in the RTC auditorium. A new bill in the state Senate could make major changes to Michigan's auto insurance rules. If passed, the legislation would revert back to the 1956 insurance code. That means insurers would no longer be able to deny coverage solely because a household member was not listed on an insurance application. The bill outlines a new order of priority for motorcycle crashes to claim personal protection insurance benefits. The bill has been referred to the Committee on Finance, Insurance, and Consumer Protection.
A U.S. District Court has ordered DTE Energy and 3 of its branches to pay $100 million after not complying with the Clean Air Act. It has to do with violations at the EES Coke battery facility located on Zug Island between River Rouge and Detroit. The facility, which produces metallurgical coke used in steelmaking, found a significant increase in sulfur dioxide pollution. DTE Energy released a statement saying they were, quote, extremely disappointed by the court's ruling. A new initiative in Flint focusing on men.
After the break, how the city says the man in your life will benefit from the Built for Life program.
A new show premiering at Saginaw's Pit and Balcony Theater. How it's said to empower young women through dance, music, and poetry.
Just a week or so ago, I was told by the animal control that, hey, your dogs look fine. We got a complaint. Your dogs look fine. So apparently someone's been calling and complaining.
That voice belongs to the person claiming to own the 61 dogs and 3 cats that were taken out of the Flint Township home yesterday morning.
Animal feces and rotting furniture accompanied the living animals and their 27 dead counterparts.
The alleged owner reached out to TV5 to share their side of the story, and James Felton now with what they had to say.
I was doing a pretty good job of it till they come and kicked my door in. If they'd have waited 2 days, they wouldn't have smelled all that. I'd have cleaned it all up.
Kim Shires says he owns this home in Flint Township where 64 animals were rescued by authorities on Tuesday. 27 other animals were found dead. Shires claims that he was able to take care of this number of animals.
They were going outside and in the atrium and doing their business. I would have cleaned that up in the other part of the house. If they'd have waited 1 more day, they'd have walked in there and they wouldn't have had to put on masks, I guarantee you.
Shires tells me the animals were taken care of.
They lived in the bedroom. They slept in the bed with me, every one of them. They were in the bedroom, sleeping. The cats had their own room.
As we reported, Genesee County Animal Control told us ammonia levels inside the home were hazardous and the animals lived in filth. Shires says he reached out for help, but no one answered.
If Animal Control had thrown something out on Facebook back a couple months ago, instead of waiting to make it look really horrific, bad, like I was totally destroying these dogs' lives, that I was killing them, if they'd have helped me back then with a Facebook story like they just did and raised $18,000, we wouldn't be here talking today.
The director of Genesee County Animal Control disagrees with much of what Shires had to say. We did a search of court records and found the house on Elms Road in Flint Township has been in foreclosure since last July.
As you can imagine, this massive rescue thrust Genesee County Animal Control into crisis mode. In a Facebook post yesterday, it called for help from other rescues and for donations. In just 24 hours, Animal Control says it's been blown away by the deliveries of dog food and other supplies. But that's not all.
We did a fundraiser online, and that's been amazing. Like, we can't thank everybody enough, truly. Like I said, I keep saying it, but we never expected that, and it's been really eye-opening. And just, I mean, I was tearing up yesterday, like watching the numbers, and it really means the world to us, and it means the world for these animals.
Animal Control says it does need more wet dog food, but it will take any kind. All of the animals are expected to survive. They ask if you suspect animal abuse anywhere, speak up. More local news, the city of Flint is working to help men take control of their health. The mayor and Flint's Office of Public Health are partnering with Men's Health First to launch a 12-month men's health educational and screening program that aims to improve the physical, mental, and emotional well-being of men across Flint. It will offer monthly educational workshops, on-site health screenings, and access to health care providers. It kicks off Tuesday from 11 to 12:30 at the Mays Senior and Community Service Center on West Home Avenue.
Premiering this weekend at Saginaw's Pit and Balcony Theater is a show empowering young women. It's called For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide or When the Rainbow Is Enough. The show is described as an intimate, poetic journey exploring the dramatic lives of contemporary black women through provocative dance, music, and poetry. Before the show, a live DJ will play an all-black female playlist. Performances are only Friday and Saturday, starting at 8:30.
Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S., and McLaren Healthcare and its Heart and Vascular Institute are hoping to change that by launching a first-of-its-kind cardiovascular screening program in Michigan. It's powered by AI, and it uses patients' existing routine CT scans in order to identify those patients' risks for heart disease much earlier. According to McLaren, the AI, used in partnership with Bunker Hill Health, measures indicators for the presence and development of common forms of heart disease that worsen over time if left untreated.
Brings together a more sophisticated view that only machine learning, only artificial intelligence can help to do. But that is all to deliver better outcomes for our patients and to recognize problems sooner.
By detecting problems early, patients can get treatment when care can be most effective. McLaren is the first Michigan health system and one of 5 in the country to use this program.
A look outside tonight. I-75 is in there somewhere as fog takes over at the Birch Run camera. It does seem like traffic down below isn't bothered too much. Seems like the camera would obviously be a little worse at the height of the camera rather than down at the surface, but still, fog is a big story as we work through tonight, and also some areas getting a few rumbles of thunder. Thankfully, it seems like the worst of the thunder is now moving out of the state. We didn't have any severe thunderstorm warnings in the TV5 viewing area, but we did have some that were just to the south. As we take a look at Sanilac County right now, we've got some downpours that are blossoming here that will move pretty quickly into Lake Huron. I would say within probably the next 20 minutes or so. They're moving that quickly tonight, but it doesn't look like we're going to see a major severe threat from this point forward. Don't be surprised if one of those cells can get going. There might be a hailstone or two mixed in, but doesn't seem like that's going to be a widespread thing right now. Radar estimated rainfall totals, some areas being projected between about a ½ inch to an inch from earlier today. So getting a healthy rain on top of what was already some snow, but it does look like the flood advisory that was in place because of that in the low-lying areas of Huron and also Sanilac County has been allowed to expire here just ahead of schedule. That was expected to go until 7. It seems like that has since gone away. Your drought monitor shows that we still have abnormally dry conditions, but not only the precipitation that we've received today, but much of the snow that we have gotten so far this winter has chipped away at what has been a long-term problem. I know it seems like how would we be in drought when we've gotten all of this moisture lately, but it's been building since not just last October, but the October before that, and we still have some work to do in Huron County. So I think we'll eventually start to see some improvement over the next couple of months, and today's rain certainly helps with that, but still it shows you that even though we've had all of this moisture, we've had all of this snow melt, that we still have room for it to absorb into the ground. As far as your hour-by-hour forecast goes, we do expect as we go through tonight that most of the wet weather will move off to the east. Still can't rule out some drizzle or mist embedded within some of that fog, but it seems like as we go through the night, things are dry outside of that. We see cloud cover as we go through Thursday. I think there will be occasionally some breaks of sun trying to break through, and we'll have a chance at more wet weather once we get towards the evening. I think the soonest showers could be found as soon as the afternoon, but likely after 5 p.m. is when we see most of it. This is thankfully looking a little bit warmer than it did earlier this week, so we're not really anticipating any icing this time around. It seems like mostly just a plain old rain threat. I think most of it moves through before the morning commute on Friday. Then we get a dry slot that moves in that shows we don't really have much wet weather late Friday morning, but then once temperatures cool down, once we get some moisture back in the area, we'll likely see some snow showers to end the day. Your forecast as we go through tonight shows temperatures will eventually drop off into the 30s. I think we'll have a chance to be near 50 in some areas tomorrow. We'll likely keep that going on Friday before cooling down even further this weekend and likely in the low 30s early next week.
Thank you, Chris. All new tonight, a toy store on its way to being featured at the Obama Presidential Center. How children from different backgrounds work toward their goals on the news at 10 on the Great Lakes Sports and Entertainment Network.
Then on TV5 News at 11, a special meeting involving the embattled president of Mott Community College. Will tensions boil over? Plus.
An airborne pickup slams into a home. What the moment was like for the homeowner. If you want to hear more about the weather with Chris, head on over to our digital live stream at 9 o'clock tonight. You can join that stream at WNEM.com, on the TV5 YouTube and Facebook pages, on our Roku and Fire Stick channels, and on the TV5 News app. Thanks for watching WNEM Evening Extra. Of course, keep up with us as the news breaks online, on our app, or on social media.
We'll see you on TV5 at 11.